Welcome to the Nerds and Friends podcast. Today we have Wendy Schweitzer joining us to talk about her YouTube channel, Book It with Wendy. We'll have the link to her YouTube channel in the video description and the podcast description. So be sure to check it out. And Wendy, thank you so much for joining me and Will today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us about your YouTube channel. What kind of channel is it?
Well, it is obviously about books. I do book reviews, I do book hauls, and all kinds of book related type of things,
That's
chats
awesome.
and stuff. Yeah.
That's really cool. So what made you want to make a YouTube channel about books? Like, where'd that come from?
Well, I've always loved reading ever since I was little, as far back as I can remember. And so I was not working last summer. I was unemployed. And I said, my daughter really did inspire me to do this. She has her own channel.
Oh, cool.
And if I could squeeze that in, it's ASMR Jess.
Yeah.
She's got a great channel that's growing rapidly. And so she kept saying, Ma, just do it. And I was like, I don't know. I don't like how I sound. I don't like, I don't know. I don't think I could do this. And she's like, just do it. So I was like, all right. And I, went back and forth with it. And then I was like, you know what? This last couple of months, I was like, I'm just going to do it. I don't care.
Yeah.
And that's how it really started. But like I said, I've always loved books and I love anything about books. So I figured, you know what, if I'm going to do a channel, this would be the best one because I think you should do what you're passionate about. So
yeah, absolutely. That's a brilliant answer. I love how you're combining a passion that you've had for such a long time with something new, which is the YouTube channel. That's a great way to explore your passion in a new way. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, and the BookTube community has been awesome. I mean, they're very supportive and very helpful and giving me little tips, and they've just been great. So I'm very happy. Yeah, it's great.
That's really cool. So what's been the biggest challenge so far, and what's been the easiest part of the process?
The biggest challenge is I'm just trying to figure out all the little, the little things that go along with having a channel, like the little kinks to work out. Editing was the thing that scared me the most. And I know that some booktubers do not edit. And I was like, you know what? I'm the type that I will just try to figure it out. If it kills me, I'll keep at it. And I did. And I started to do a little editing, which I actually like doing. And I'm really just learning as I go along, but it's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So that's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying it. It's really, I've been getting, more subscribers than I thought I would get. And, a lot of encouraging comments and really it's been growing nicely for the short time I've been doing it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. You gotta say, that's really great advice that your daughter gave you of just do it.
Yeah, she's like, just do it, Mom. I'm like, oh, I don't know. And I took her advice. I took her lead, and she has been my biggest inspiration. So yeah, I'm glad I listened to her.
Yeah, because I think a lot of us just kind of get frozen with that kind of looming amount of work that it actually takes to embark on a project like this. As far as getting through the editing and the posting, what's been kind of your process as far as learning? Have you just been ironically going through YouTube videos, or how have you been figuring this out? What steps have you been taking?
I have been looking at some other videos, just playing around with some editing apps and looking at some kind of how-to videos on YouTube and just kind of mixing them all together and then doing it that way, finding what I like and what's easier for me and what I enjoy. So
that's
really
awesome.
Like a culmination. Yeah.
And that's the great thing is that nowadays there's so many different tools that you can really pick what works best for you. And that's so convenient. It's the most accessible it's ever been in human history. It's great,
Yeah, it's really, I can't, like I said, I can't say that it's that hard. It's a lot. I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it was, but I think that you should, not get too caught up in the technical aspect of it when you're first starting, and just do what you love and have a good time with it, because that's what it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be like all, you got to make sure you do this right and make sure that this looks perfect. These are people, everyday people doing videos from their homes that love books. That's what it's supposed to be about.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think of a good question to build off of that. Like, what's your favorite book to start out with, or is it hard to pick a favorite? Or
Ooh, yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite. I mean, I have ones that come to mind. There's one I just did a review on that I've had for so many years. I've read it numerous times. My husband has read it. It's called What Zizi Gave Honey Boy. And it's about an aunt that her nephew writes this whole book about her. She lives, in the Bronx, and she has him over for dinner once a week, and they play Scrabble together, and it's a true story, and it reminded me so much of my grandmother, that the book was very special to me because of that. It brought back so many memories, her cooking, and it was I loved it. That's one of my all-time favorite books.
oh, that's wonderful. It sounds like it really resonated with you. So that can be so powerful when a book where you're just I get exactly what this author's talking about. That's the best feeling.
Oh yeah, it was oh my God, it might have been my grandmother, and I can remember the same things, her cooking and the smell of her cooking, and it was just all about love. That cooking is love, and that's what this book was really about. Her love for her nephew, and that's why it resonated with me, because my grandmother was like a second mom to me. She lived with us as far as I could remember, so I so love that book.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's always been something that's really good about literature, is that you're able to have these niche experiences that somebody out there is going to relate to, and it's able to convey that across time and across space. Doesn't matter where you live, there's always going to be someone that can relate to that experience.
Yeah.
And I think, a lot of ways, YouTube and social media in general kind of have that same type of overlay, where you're able to get these ideas across to just thousands of people across the world. So no matter how niche of a subject it is, you're able to communicate and relate to people.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I mean,
I totally agree with you. Just turning on my light here because I think it's a little dark. You see me better now. Okay. Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I think that books do that in general. They can create memories and emotions in a way that nothing else can. And if there's a book you love, you will always go back and you can relive those times and those emotions through reading. And it also can take you anywhere in the world when you read. And that's the great thing about books.
Well said. Well said. Yeah, the possibilities are limitless. That's the best. That's why I love being a writer. Is I'm if my imagination can resonate with one person and be meaningful to them, that's so special. That's all I need,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that. I mean, I love books.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, my most recent book, Will did the cover art for it. I wish I had a copy, but I'm about to move. I moved tomorrow to a new apartment, so I'm all packed up and everything. So I don't. All my copies are packed in boxes now. But yeah, so yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite genres and why of books?
My very favorite genre is memoirs. I absolutely love them. I find that I always gear towards those the most. But I like a little bit of magic in books sprinkled in. Nice. I love mysteries, like cozy mysteries. And I have to say, as far as like romance novels, it's probably something that I don't read. I don't really care for, but I like and I like nonfiction too.
Oh,
I
cool.
definitely like nonfiction as well. I have a lot of nonfiction books, but yeah, romance is like my least favorite. I think when I was like a teenager, I read like a lot of the Harlequin books and stuff like that. But when you're that age, they're great books. Not that they're not great books, but it's
Yeah.
something that, but I don't really read any romance books. It's memoirs first and then mysteries and, things like that.
Yeah, the
That's
Harlequin
awesome.
books have a very specific audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely do. Yeah. So, that's what I go towards and I'd say I have a good amount of both. I have nonfiction
Mhm.
and fiction. I like a little of both.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I can't wait to send you a copy of my book because it is both a
Yes.
mystery with magic in it. So I
Uh,
hope you enjoy it. Yeah,
yes, I'm
it's a murder
excited to read it.
mystery. So yeah, it's fun.
Awesome. Yeah.
So man, I can't wait to send it to you. That'll be great.
Yes. Yeah, I love books like that. I love. I can't say I've read a lot of like fantasy books. Like a lot of people are into. I can't say I don't like them because I really don't read that much of them. But I mean, I'd be open to reading some of them. I'm open to most books, like I said.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, I'm not adverse to that many books,
Yeah.
that's
except for
awesome.
romance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I don't write romance books. That's not my forte.
I,
So,
I wasn't, yeah, I didn't pick up on that. I didn't think, does not surprise me. I didn't think you were too much of a romance writing guy.
no, not my genre. That's actually so far for movies. Like I'm 2 for 2. I've produced 2 movies that are technically fall into like the romantic
Oh, really?
genre. So yeah, that's
Okay.
weirdly been my filmmaking trajectory. But yeah, when I write, it's fantasy
Okay.
or mystery or action or
Perhaps
science
there's
fiction.
something more underneath there that we just kind of need to pull back some layers.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's in there.
It's in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so Wendy, do you have any like goals that you're going towards with your YouTube channel, or
I was
any
about to
goals?
ask the exact same question. You are awesome, Will.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously I'd love if my channel grew, but I know that takes time. So,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just enjoying it as I go along, and I hope that the content that I put out, people keep enjoying that. That's really, what my aim is. Pretty
Yeah.
simply. Yeah, yeah.
Have you noticed, like, I know you're relatively new to the to YouTubing, but have you noticed like any type of response or anything that's kind of started directing the path of your videos or anything?
Well, I mean, people seem to like when I interviewed when I reviewed ZZ, what ZZ gave Honey Boy, they liked, I guess, the passion that I put into the review because I so resonated with it that was easy to do. But I think people like that emotion, because they feel like, first of all, it makes them want to read the book. And second of all, I think most people like that. They like, bringing back a memory and feeling, like I said, those emotions, and it takes them back to a special time. And who doesn't want that?
Mhm.
So I think people really resonate with that when a book really, hits you in a way that stays with you. There's some books that
Oh,
just stay
yeah.
with you, and that was one of them.
That's awesome. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I can tell already that your passion for that book definitely carried into your review because like I'm just
Yeah.
excited about the book talking to you about it. I'm like, that sounds really special. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just I loved it, and yeah, I think that's what people love about reading. If they can get walk away from a book feeling like that, or say that book stayed with me, I still remember that book. That's awesome. That's a great book.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, Wendy, thank you so much for your time. This has been a wonderful interview, and
Thank
I'm
you.
sure all our
This is my
listeners.
first podcast, so I was very excited.
Yeah, you did great, and we'll have all the links to your YouTube videos in the description
Awesome.
of the videos, so all of our listeners can come and tune in. And we
Awesome.
look forward to collaborating in the future. This was awesome.
Yes, I look forward to reading your book.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'll be, as soon as I get moved into the new place, I'll send you a copy. So
You got it. You
Yeah,
got it.
and just to make sure, it's BookIt, your YouTube channel.
Book it with Wendy.
B-O-O-K.
Yes.
Okay, BookIt with
And
Wendy.
book it's all one word.
Book It with Wendy, all one word. Well, you guys have heard it here on Nerds and Friends. Check out Wendy Schweitzer's awesome YouTube channel. Thank you again for coming on, Wendy. It's been a pleasure talking with you. And we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.